Time for Fullest House, first edition, where we are playing Vaettiheim. It is turn 28. I think this one's going to be a slow one. Let's see. We have a throne claim from Utgard here. That's probably the throne on our border. And then, we have quite a bit of arcane probing, which, of course, we have a miss, a miss, a miss, and a miss. And that's how it goes sometimes. We have a couple twice-borns. The white mages themselves are actually kind of just better chassis, much faster, which is pretty important. And we don't have to pay upkeep on them, so we'll be able to have a larger mage core. And then let's see, most of our site searching failed, but we did find one site, a Farm of Plenty. That sounds suspicious. Is that the one that doesn't give us any gems? I can never remember. Let's see, our blood hunting has improved ever so slightly. And then it looks like we get attacked by independents, and then, we catch a couple battles, one of our own, and then, so this is on top of that Shabalban fort, and they're riding out again. The merfolk actually have a decent number of troops left. They had quite a few retreats, it's pretty much, a lot of guys on guard commander, it looks like, so that is smart, because Shabalba has plenty of flyers, but I don't know, we'll see. Turn on team-colored squares here. I think this one could go either way, honestly. And they have a lot of bats. The bats aren't great, but it does look like they outnumber what the merfolk were able to leave as bodyguards. That said, the sacreds, I don't know. Shabalba's sacreds, I think, are going to do better simply because they have a bless. Let's see if they actually managed to get bless. Yeah, they did. So, of course, the invulnerability isn't really going to do anything against the Sacreds, but the Blood Bond being able to spread the damage out to all the combatants so that they are able to fight longer is pretty important. And they do have, a decent pool of hit points. It looks like the bats have failed the attack rear attempt. Those, the naked bats, they're not good. You need a lot of them. But still, it was a good attempt. Certainly, if the merfolk had not left a bunch of bodyguards, Shabalba could have pulled that off. And I think they're going to come away with it anyway, in general, just simply due to numbers, and again, their sacreds having a bless. So they're able to unlock their fort, and they're doing a really good job defending themselves, although it does seem like they're on the back foot overall in this war. I'm not sure really how much territory they have left other than this fort. But they are making their opponents pay for what they do take, and I'm definitely a proponent of that. And then, we have our underwater attack. Let's see if there's a province defense dump. Not really. Kind of a standard amount of province defense. So this is way overkill. But, it's okay. Better to overkill than, to fail. Although we do lose a decent amount of research due to that adventure. So we don't really lose anything. And, we'll probably build a lab here. And honestly, maybe just leave our Azure mages in the province, because we really don't want someone jumping into this lake and causing problems for us, because it's going to be a bit of a hassle for us to kick them out. But regardless, we do have that lake now, which is good. We have some unexpected events, right? A malicious druid and his companions are attacking us. I think we actually have a decent number of patrollers there, so we should be fine. Yeah, warring tribes, a bit of unrest, some people die. Let's take a look at this malicious druid. Ooh. Is an ice druid. That is a ton of ice drakes. This could actually get pretty painful. We have a few patrollers, but we were not expecting to get attacked by all the ice drakes, and this might actually set us back a little ways. Luckily, these ice drakes don't have the best morale. It is decent. And then, of course, we do have cold resistance, so I guess it's better that it's ice drakes rather than fire drakes. But still, some cold resistance. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. And, we lost quite a few sacreds there as well. And we do kill off some of the ice drakes, but, this is Misfortune 3. I think, kicking in, although, it could be some of Bogarus's misfortune scales. So, ouch. Let's see. Yeah, we lose 21 berserkers, which is, kind of rough. They're a little more expensive. Lose 15 crossbowmen, and it looks like our Rimvetti just rout. So that's good at least. Let's take a look at the retreat details. Yeah, and it looks like most of our retreaters survive, so that's good. The Rimvetti are really the most important thing. We have enough infrastructure and enough income that we can replace these losses relatively quickly. But still, and we have a bunch of ice drakes locking down one of our capitals. which is not fantastic. So we'll have to think about that and figure out, how we're going to efficiently remove this malicious ice druid. And then, we finish the palisade. This is for those enchantresses in that cave. We're under siege in Bogarus. And then, we do some patrolling, although sadly, we wanted to reduce the unrest in Bogarus, and I don't think that's going to happen now. And then Bogarus was indeed eliminated. So well played, Bogarus. I think, it was a tough position, right? Coming in at the start of the game, spawning next to Vaettiheim. I don't think they particularly did anything wrong. I'm certainly I've never played Bogarus, not even in single player, so I can't offer too much advice, but I do know that, those heavy cavalry and the epochs are considered by a lot of people to be some of their best early defense. And this player had both, so possibly just more of those in the future. I will say that, we did dodge a major bullet in the opener to our war, because if he'd spread his heavy cavalry around in smaller groups in each of his provinces, I think he would have absolutely crushed our raiders, and I think that could have swung the war pretty significantly. I don't know if we necessarily would have lost, but I do think it would have been much longer and much bloodier. But regardless, well played, and that covers it. I'll catch you guys after the cut. All right, this is the situation and what we did about it. A relatively quiet turn here. We are going to try to kick these ice drakes off of Bogarus's capital, Bogarus's former capital. Just really sending in Rimvetti with some crossbowmen here. So Rimvetti pretty much immune to cold damage, which is mostly what frost drakes do. So fingers crossed that'll work out for us. This will also move a lot of our forces in the direction of the throne in our cap circle that we have not yet captured, so that is also definitely on the agenda for sooner rather than later. In terms of more medium-term plans, we are looking at Archocephaly and Pangea. We have some scouts up here, as well as some Wolf Brother raiding groups, all right, that are moving out, planning on recruiting. I think we're recruiting some more Wolf Brothers here. We don't actually have full mage recruitment this turn, which is a little bit painful to look back on. We've cut mages in a number of places, so don't love that, but it is what it is. Honestly, I'm not sure where our money's gone. We are building up a fortification down here to better take advantage of these enchantresses, but we started that last turn, possibly just due to the fact that, we're losing out on half the income from Bogarus, right, because it got captured by independents. So we've talked some, about why we're headed towards Archocephaly and Pangea. Not a lot of communication. Pangea's probably the stronger nation of the two. They do have two capitals, but they're not that big. Archocephaly, I think, is in a lot of trouble. Also starting to get a little bit concerned about Raga. I think Raga definitely is one of those nations that can snowball pretty effectively, and they seem relatively large and also border a decent number of thrones. So, putting us in a position where we have a border with Raga, their capital is somewhat close to us, if we end up taking a good chunk of this territory. So anyway, putting ourselves in a position, right, where we can take some of the thrones they might need for a throne victory. I think they're still a long way from it. But, with their flying sacreds, they're a nation that can move fast. So definitely a bit concerned about that, but not something we need to be immediately worried about. Gath looking, relatively large. It looks like Xibalba's probably on the dead side. I don't really see a way for their territory to expand out. Midgard is a place, not really sure of their strength yet, but, they're not on their way out at least. Not too relevant for us yet, but, always good to get a sense of how strong people are, out around in the world and who we might have to deal with in the long run. Research hasn't changed too much, still headed to Alteration 7. I think that's a good call. We're going to try to get in, basically all of our blood magic. Obviously, we could go deeper into blood, but Blood 6 will get us all of our national stuff, and is really as far as we need to go. Obviously, our blood hunting is in a pretty terrible spot. For this late in the game, how low our blood income is, it's extremely weak. I'm okay with this. I'm not a huge blood player. This is my first time playing blood. So, wanted to lean into, I think Vaettiheim has lots of effective gold options as well. So I don't think you need to play heavily into their blood, but you certainly could play a lot heavier into Vaettiheim's blood than what we're doing here. I think that more or less covers turn 28.